All right, so today we're diving into something that I know a lot of you hotel and restaurant owners out there think about a lot, and that is the role of design and ambiance in your business.
Yeah, it really can make or break the customer experience.
Totally. And to help us understand this better, we've got some insights from Maurice.
Oh yeah, Maurice is great. He's a hospitality consultant and a real expert in food and beverage service.
Exactly. And what's so valuable about Maurice's perspective is that he really emphasizes the connection between a thoughtfully designed space and, well, just better business overall.
For sure, he's not just talking about aesthetics, making things look pretty.
Right. It's about understanding how those design choices actually impact your bottom line.
Yeah, things like how comfortable the seating is, the lighting, creating the right atmosphere. All of that plays a role in whether people want to come back or not and how much they're willing to spend.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to unpack in this deep dive, how to create a restaurant or hotel environment that really resonates with your target audience and keeps them coming back for more.
I'm excited to get into it.
Me too. So let's start with this idea that design is not just an afterthought. It's not something you just tack on at the end.
Right. Maurice is very clear about that.
Yeah, he emphasizes that decor, service, and lighting are all crucial elements from the very beginning.
They all need to work together to create a cohesive experience.
Exactly. And a great example he uses is Chipotle Mexican Grill.
Now, you might not immediately think of Chipotle as a design-forward brand, but Maurice points out how they've actually invested quite a bit in creating this warm and modern aesthetic.
It's true, and it's interesting because, Chipotle's prices are not the lowest out there, but people are willing to pay a bit more because they really connect with that environment.
Yeah, Maurice's insight is that this kind of approachable modernism has helped them build a very loyal customer base.
And that loyalty directly translates into improved profitability, which is what we all want, right?
Exactly. So what can we learn from Chipotle's approach?
Well, Maurice suggests focusing on a few key things.
Like what?
Well, comfortable seating is a big one, making sure people feel relaxed and can really enjoy their meal.
Makes sense.
Then paying attention to the decorations, not just throwing anything up on the walls, but really choosing pieces that create the right atmosphere.
And don't forget about lighting.
Right, Maurice is really big on lighting. He says it can make or break a space.
He suggests opting for warm and inviting lighting that makes people feel welcome and comfortable.
Totally. It's all about creating that sense of hospitality. Now, once you have those fundamental design elements in place, Maurice says the next crucial step is to really understand your clientele.
Because what works for one group of people might not work for another.
Exactly. And he tells this cautionary tale of a really chic downtown restaurant concept that tried to open in rural Mississippi.
Oh, wow, that sounds like a mismatch.
It looked great on paper, but it totally missed the mark with the local customer base.
Because
Well, the design was just too out of sync with the community's tastes and lifestyle.
that's a tough lesson to learn.
It is. So, Maurice's advice here is to really do your homework.
Meaning,
Study your local market, understand what your potential customers expect, and be willing to adapt your style accordingly.
don't just impose your personal vision on a community that might not connect with it.
Exactly. It's about meeting your audience where they are.
And that leads into this idea of atmosphere as part of your branding.
Oh, yeah. Maurice is a big believer in that.
He says a restaurant needs to tell a story, and every element, from the design to the lighting to the music, should contribute to that narrative.
And a perfect example he uses is Le Train Bleu in Paris.
I've been there. It's stunning.
It's iconic, right?
Yeah.
Maurice highlights its flamboyant decor and Art Nouveau features. It's so much more than just a place to eat.
It's an experience.
Totally. And that atmosphere with those amazing murals and chandeliers really reinforces the restaurant's brand image, and it attracts both tourists who want that classic Parisian experience and locals who appreciate its timeless elegance.
So it's about creating a cohesive narrative through the space.
Exactly. It's about making sure that every element, from the big picture to the small details, tells the same story.
And Maurice encourages us to play with color and light to create a unique ambiance.
Right, warmer tones for comfort, brighter colors for energy. It's all about making intentional choices that support your brand.
Now, this might all sound a bit overwhelming, especially if you're not a designer yourself.
And Maurice acknowledges that that's why he suggests bringing in professional help.
Yeah, he says experienced architects and designers can actually save you time and money in the long run.
Because they can help you avoid potential pitfalls and make sure the project runs smoothly.
He tells a story about a restaurant that faced a 3-month delay, and huge financial losses because the architect they hired didn't handle a permit properly.
Ouch, that's a nightmare scenario.
It is so. Maurice's advice is to thoroughly vet any professionals you're considering.
Check references, make sure they understand your vision, and that you can communicate effectively with them.
Now, for anyone working with a limited budget, Maurice makes it clear that you don't have to break the bank to create a great atmosphere.
It's about prioritizing and being smart with your spending.
And he uses Le Petit Clair in Paris as an example.
It's a charming bistro that has a really warm and authentic atmosphere, and they didn't spend a fortune to achieve that.
They focused on simple decor, like wooden tables and classic bistro chairs.
And what really stands out is their attention to presentation and that genuine, friendly service.
It proves that a great atmosphere is about more than just expensive materials.
Exactly. So Maurice recommends prioritizing spending on things that directly impact customer comfort.
Like good lighting and making sure the acoustics are right.
And of course, always budget for the unexpected because there will always be surprises.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that can really impact the flow of your restaurant efficient circulation.
Because even the most beautiful design can fall short if the layout is poorly organized.
Yeah, you don't want bottlenecks and traffic jams between the kitchen and the dining room.
Right? It slows down service, frustrates customers, and just makes things inefficient overall.
Maurice actually cites the now closed 5 Ninth restaurant as an example of what not to do.
They had major traffic congestion issues that really hampered their service.
So the key takeaway here is to plan clear pathways for your staff.
And minimize any crossover with customer traffic.
Think about how people are going to move through this space and make sure it's a smooth and enjoyable experience.
Now, another often overlooked element is managing noise levels.
Oh, yeah, this is so important.
Maurice emphasizes that people want to be able to have a conversation without having to shout.
A comfortable noise level is crucial for creating a relaxing dining experience.
If it's too loud, people are less likely to come back.
So what can we do about that?
Well, Maurice suggests using sound-absorbing materials like carpets, curtains, or acoustic panels.
And if you're dealing with a particularly noisy space, he even recommends considering soundproof ceilings.
And of course, we can't forget about the power of music.
It's more than just background noise. It sets the mood and influences customer behavior.
Maurice believes that music can even affect how long people stay.
Really?
He uses Chef Jacques Zimmerman's La Fine Gale restaurant in Paris as an example.
What do they do?
They play a mix of French music and classical songs to create this convivial and warm atmosphere.
That sounds lovely.
It is, and Maurice's insight is that this carefully chosen music encourages people to relax, linger a bit longer, and hopefully become repeat customers.
So it's about being strategic with your music choices.
Exactly, and he suggests adapting the music to the time of day.
So something more upbeat for lunch, maybe.
Right, and then something more mellow and relaxing for dinner.
Now let's talk about something that can truly transform a space lighting.
Maurice calls it the light of your success, and for good reason.
He emphasizes how lighting can create a specific mood and atmosphere.
And he shares some great examples from the Hôtel Maurice in Paris.
Oh, I love that hotel.
It's beautiful. He mentions Restaurant Le Dali, which has this very elegant and intimate ambiance inspired by Dali's surrealism.
And it's designed by Philippe Starkray.
Yes, and the lighting is a key element in creating that unique atmosphere.
And then there's the Le Meurice restaurant itself, which has its incredibly luxurious decor, and they use lighting to enhance it even further.
And what's interesting is that they adjust the lighting throughout the day.
So it's different for lunch versus dinner.
Exactly. They use subdued lighting in the evening to create a more intimate feel, while during the day, natural light floods in highlighting the architectural details.
It shows how versatile lighting can be.
It really does. So Maurice's practical takeaways are to install dimming systems so you have that flexibility to adjust the light levels,
Good idea.
and to favor indirect light sources, which create a softer and more flattering effect.
Now let's move on to a topic that might not be as glamorous, but is equally important, the restrooms.
Maurice is very upfront about this. He says that clean and modern toilets are crucial to the overall customer experience.
It's one of those things that people really notice.
If the restrooms are dirty or outdated, it can leave a negative impression no matter how good the food is.
Oh, so what are his recommendations?
Regular cleaning is key, of course, and
Ah.
investing in modern equipment like automatic faucets and professional drainage systems.
It's about preventing any unpleasant surprises.
Exactly. Now, another sensory element that Maurice touches upon is smell.
It's amazing how powerful aromas can be.
They can evoke Memories create a sense of anticipation and even stimulate appetite.
Think about the smell of freshly baked bread or brewing coffee.
It's so inviting. Maurice suggests incorporating open kitchens or in-room preparations where guests can experience those aromas firsthand.
I love that idea.
Me too. And he also suggests subtly diffusing pleasant and relevant aromas throughout the space.
It's all about appealing to the senses.
Exactly. And finally, Maurice encourages us to think about how we can adapt the ambiance throughout the day.
Because a restaurant often caters to different needs at different times.
All right, the lunchtime crowd is usually looking for something quick and efficient.
While the dinner crowd is more likely to linger and enjoy a more leisurely experience.
So Maurice suggests adjusting the lighting and music accordingly.
Maybe even changing the table arrangements to accommodate different group sizes.
It's all about being flexible and responsive to the needs of your customers.
So to wrap things up, what are the key takeaways from Maurice's insights?
Well, I think the main message is that design and ambiance are not just about aesthetics. They're fundamental to the entire customer experience.
They influence how people feel, how long they stay, how much they spend, and ultimately whether they come back.
And he's given us so many actionable tips to consider.
From the comfort of the seating, to the warmth of the lighting, to the importance of understanding our target audience.
And managing elements like noise and smell.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, but it's also important if we want to create a truly successful business.
So I want to leave you with this thought. How much attention are you currently paying to every single sensory detail in your establishment?
From the subtle glow of the lighting, to the music playing softly in the background, to even the faintest aromas in the air.
All of these elements work together to create an emotional connection with your guests.
It's about transforming a simple meal or a brief stay into a lasting and positive memory.
And that's what keeps people coming back for more.
According to Maurice, that's the true power of thoughtful design and ambiance.
It's about creating an experience that people will remember and cherish.
And that's what we should all be striving for.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time.
See you then.